Hello guys and welcome back. So for the rigging, the weighting process could take a long time, especially when you have complicated model, and of course also complicated topology. You want to make sure that everything is nice and clean. One thing you may want to check is your UV. Normally they're okay, I think, but I'm not sure why this one is a little bit over the edge. So a little detail like that could destroy your rig, especially you're using some of the UV based techniques. So make sure you fix that a little bit by dragging it down. Okay, and you also want to notify the modeler that that part needs fixing. And they should be They should be able to reproject the texture back. So I guess that should be okay. All right, but just making sure that they have that fixed. You can give them the model because if it's over edge, then you will have some issue later on when you're doing the UV based rigging, which I will explain later, but just make sure you fix that. Okay, that's something I need to actually remind you earlier. But UV is important even for rigging, although it can be fixed later, but just make sure that you have that fixed as soon as possible, because that's gonna make the texturing process easier too. Or if you don't, it's gonna cause some texturing headache later on. Okay, so let's move on to the binding. Okay, for the binding, you can use skin cage if you wanted to, or you can use the traditional way of binding skin, which is rigging skin, band skin. Both works quite nicely, I think. So I'm gonna just use Maya's way. Just grab the root and then grab the model here. Okay, let's do a skin, band skin. You want to use joint hierarchy, heat map, that doesn't matter. Let's use neighbors and then apply. That's gonna band the skin using the heat map. If you're lucky, you will go through without any problem. If you're not, you may have non-manifold geometry or something inside of your model, which is the modeler's fault. It's not your fault, but still try to fix it, or make the modeler to fix it. I have something like the hair is something wrong. Okay, see that something is wrong with the hair, but sometimes it's okay because the hair doesn't need much deformation. You can just bend it to the top. The teeth lower shape has something, some manifold geometry too. So those are all the problems exist when you're bending the upper teeth. Okay, fortunately it's only the teeth, so I can choose to ignore it because it's just the teeth. It never bends. I will just bend it with those two. Let me grab those two, Alt Shift D to delete their history, and then grab that joint, go skin, bend skin, and use selected joints, and then the close distance, and then apply. That will just assign those two to the jaw joint, and those two, let's also delete the history, and then grab the head joint. Okay, and then bend skin. That's gonna give them to the head. So now they should be all following. Cool. For the hair, it's the same thing. The hair will just go to this one. Okay. Normally they will have in on those complicated geometries. I'm not sure where it is. It could be anywhere. So sometimes I wouldn't even bother fixing those ones because they're complicated. As long as they're not needed to be. Let's just keep things simple. All right. So now it's banded. We should be able to check the weighting, and then maybe we can then start doing the weight painting thing to fix the problem we have. Okay. So that's gonna be banding. in the next tutorial, I'm gonna go through maybe a fast forward on the entire process of doing the weeding. Okay, see you next time.